Hi, welcome to OLP 365. My name is Lou, and I'll be your guide. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm drinking the tea just to keep me able to speak. I want to talk to you about this particular video. This will be the first video that's addressing the 12 paths. It's personal development. Personal development can mean a lot of things, and it can encompass many, many things. Today I'm going to start with just 5 basic things that you can start implementing today, every day. And as you start doing this more and more, you're going to get better and better at it, and you're going to see your life starting to transform. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk to you about in professional development is clarity. Clarity. Okay, you got to be clear at what you're doing and why you're doing it. So clarity, it's helping you identify your purpose. For instance, me starting this OLP 365 program, I have clarity. I want to transform people's lives just the way I transformed my life. As you get to know me, I've had a lot of adversity, but I've also had a lot of success. Looking back, I would probably say I had more success than adversity now. And the adversity helped me become successful. So that's the reason I'm starting this. Now, I've done other things, I've accomplished other things, and I was clear as to why I was doing it and why I needed to do it. So those are the things you want to start with in personal development. When you know your why, you have a sense of direction, focus, and you can align your goals once you start to really understand what it is you're doing. Years ago, I started a construction company, and I had a general contractor's license because I worked my way through college as a construction worker. And I knew I wanted my own construction company, so I got my general contractor's license here in California. And why I started a construction company is because I had twin sons, babies. And I knew I needed to make money fast, good money fast. So I got into general contracting and became a home builder. And it was very lucrative. And when I got tired or I didn't want to go to work at 4 in the morning, I remembered my why. I wanted to raise my 2 boys because I had to pay for everything twice. I had to buy 2 pairs of shoes. I had to buy 2 bicycles. I had to pay for 2 summer camps. I had to pay for 2 Disneyland tickets. And it was very expensive when you have twins, not to mention the food and the clothes. So that was why I needed to do home building. Okay, so that helped me. But I've accomplished other goals, and I always had a why to those as well. Okay? As we go through the year, we're going to talk about all these paths because they all interconnect. It isn't one path and you're done. They're always going through. Our logo is a compass. It's the life optimization compass, because every time you take a direction, your compass directs you to a new path. But you're always on a different path. You may go on that path, turn right, and now you're on a different path. Turn left, and you're back on a different path. So we're going to talk about various aspects and elements of personal development, but these are the 5 that I think you should start with. The other one is goal setting. I am a master goal setter. As a matter of fact, I was a professional speaker years ago, and I was hired by Fortune 500 companies to talk about sales goals for their sales forces. And it's no different. Goal setting is a roadmap for your life. If you know how to set goals, you're going to accomplish many, many, many things. If you set 10 goals, you might accomplish 7. But that's 7 more than you had. If you set up 10 more goals and you accomplish 7, that's 14 goals. And goal setting goes on for the rest of your life. When we get to the goal setting path, that's where I'm going to teach you various ways to set them. There's long-term goals, short-term goals, SMART goals, different goals. But they're all the same thing. They're objectives to what you're trying to achieve. I like to say that as I think this through, goal setting are action steps to fulfill your dreams. First, there has to be a dream, and then you have to take the steps to make that dream come true. And if you know how to set goals, many, many of your dreams will come true. And again, as we move through the year, I'll share more information about me, and you'll see that I've accomplished quite a bit, all because of goal setting. That skill. You have to learn how to break these big dreams into manageable steps. And that's what goals are. They're just steps to a goal, to a dream. Okay? Once you have clear goals, then you can start setting targets. And then you can make the steps to achieve those targets. And it won't be so overwhelming. Some goals are long-term. Say you want to go to law school, or you want to buy a car. That's a long-term goal. So you have to break that down, because 4 years or 2 years is a very, very long time. But once you have a goal-setting strategy for your long and short-term goals, they all work concurrently. So you'll be achieving your short-term goals while you're working towards your long-term goals. Sometimes your short-term goals will be a subset of your main goal, and it's all one continuous goal-setting path. And that's why we have a video devoted just to setting goals, teaching you how to set them. And I can't tell you how important goal setting is, and setting goals are. Everything I achieved in my life from 20 years old on was a direct result of goals. I've owned many properties, businesses. All of those were goals. And you always have people telling you you're a dreamer or you can't do it. But if you set the goals and you stick to it, and you get your planner, you plan them all out, you'll achieve them. And you'll start leaving everybody behind, because you're a goal setter and you achieve them. So goal setting is something in terms of personal development. So clarity and goal setting. Let me think of the others. Lifelong learning. Continuous learning. If you stop learning, your life just stops. It's that simple. You become a robot. You go to work, come home, watch TV, go to bed, wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, and it's just the continuous cycle. That's where this is my opinion. I think a lot of depression and mental issues start to occur with people, especially men, because we're goal getters. We're supposed to go out and get these things. And women have a innate nesting need. We have a need for accomplishment, for challenges, for victories. That we're wired that way. If you're just sitting home playing video games, you're going to become depressed. And if you want to know why, it's because you're not learning anything. You're just playing. You're letting your mind work on automatic. So continuous learning takes on many forms. Books, a lot of people say I don't like to read. If you don't like to read, then you're cutting off part of your personal development. If you don't like to read, acquire a desire for it. Okay, there's just no way around it. There's no other thing you can do. They have these books on tape. I think Audible, Spotify, the podcast type stuff. You can listen to that stuff if you're an audio learner. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're learning. You're taking in information. You're processing it. Books, I like books because you can always go back and refer to the pages and specific information that you highlight. And I've read many, 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 many books. Again, as we progress on this path of transformation, I'm going to share some of the books that I think you should read, because that's where you create the mindset. And we already made a video on mindset. Okay, you have a growth mindset, and the only way you're going to feed it, okay, is by reading or audio learning or visual learning. But you got to learn. It's continuous. It's seeking knowledge. I've been taking many, many courses. I'm taking a course right now on how to learn to produce a podcast, because part of this will have a podcast. I'm taking courses right now learning how to edit. I'm using I think it's Final Cut Pro. I don't know anything about that. I am 65 years old, getting ready for retirement. I retire in June of this year. But I have a growth mindset. I said, what am I going to do once I retire? I'm an educator. I've been in education for 32 years. I've been an English teacher, a math teacher, science teacher. I've been a principal, a high school principal, middle school principal. I've been a program developer. I've written curriculum. I've been a football coach. Many, many things. So 32 years, my life has been wrapped around education. And now that I'm retiring, getting ready to retire, I said, I need to do something. And that's where the idea of producing Optimum Life Path 365 came in. I said, yeah, I could do this. I can break it down. I can share it. But I have to learn. Now we're back to the continuous learning. I didn't learn any of this stuff. I didn't know it. So I'm taking courses on how to do it. But in this changing world, everything's digital. And I need to get on board with it. Otherwise, I'll be left behind. I'll be what's called a digital idiot. And I don't intend for that to happen. But I have a growth mindset. So I set some goals. Okay, I use the clarity. Why? Why? Because I need to do this. I need to produce it. I've written a book. I have a few books that I've written. I'm writing a few more. And it's all about the path, each path. And that's another thing I'm learning is online marketing, cover design, all that kind of stuff. So it's a continuous learning. Keeps you adaptable and resilient. And it's going to create opportunities. I have no doubt that this channel is going to grow worldwide. You mark my words. When? I have no idea. How long will it take? No idea. I don't even care. All I'm doing is sharing the information. Everything else will take care of itself. Okay, these are universal principles, and we're going to talk about those as we move through. We're just starting this journey. Okay, man? We're just starting this journey. It's just starting. So you're on the ground level, and you have to learn how to work it. You're going to learn how to write the goals. You're going to learn how to, how to learn about taking courses, where to find the courses, what kind of books you're going to read, podcasts you're going to listen to. Like when I got started on this, I really didn't understand how to produce it and how to set it up. So I listened to a gentleman named Joe Dispenza. I highly recommend you watch him on YouTube. He talks about transforming your life And then there's another woman named Louise Hay. She talks about mindset. So these are all the people that I try to listen to, and I'm still listening to them. I'm learning from them. And now we're back to continuous learning. Never ends. I bought an iPhone to learn how to shoot in iPhone format, I guess. I have a Canon, a Rebel EOS, and that was traditional photography. I know how to use that, but I never learned how to use the iPhone camera. And that's new technology, so I'm doing that now. This is being shot on an iPhone. And eventually I'm going to make a studio where I have lights and audio and all the other stuff as we grow. And then I'm going to get a whiteboard that's going to come here, and then I can actually draw visually, show you the steps. When we get into financing, I'm going to show you how to set up your finances, your goals for your finances. So I'm going to learn how to do all that. So again, continuous learning, very important. And then another thing that I think you should start with on your professional development path, your personal development path, is emotional intelligence. There's a book out called Emotional Intelligence. It came out about 10, 15 years ago. I read it. Actually, a pretty good book. And there's basic components of emotional intelligence. It isn't just how angry you get or how happy you get. There's self-awareness. You have to be self-aware of what you're about. Like, I'm self-aware that I have none of these skills, so I have to learn them. Empathy, knowing how to empathize with people. I'm sharing empathy with you. Some of you are stuck. Some of you don't know where to start. You want to start a new transformation this year, but you don't know where to start. New Year's resolutions, they start on New Year's and then they usually end by Valentine's Day. 85%, 90% of them fail by Valentine's Day because they don't have a plan, they don't know where to start, and they just give up. When you understand empathy or emotional intelligence, you're self-aware, you have empathy. And the empathy that I'm sharing with you is this information that I've used throughout my life. And I have been very successful with it. So it's going to work for a lot of you. Some of you may know this, and for some people, it might not resonate. It might not even interest you. That's fine. But those of you who are looking for a way to transform your life to a better life, to a magnificent life, to a fantastic life, to a dream life, all of those are a level that you can achieve. And how do I know that? Because I have achieved it. I have done everything I'm sharing with you is going to be from the practical side of life. I have done this over 30 years. My life has improved constantly for the better. I have a PhD that I received from USC. And I'm not going to give you the whole background story, but I was talking to one of the professors. And he asked me, he said, did you ever think when you were in high school that you would be at USC in a doctoral program receiving A's? And I didn't have to think about it. I said, never. This wasn't even a dream to attend USC. I was thinking more about survival, not even thinking about going to SC. Well, as I grew and improved, set goals, my life improved. I got a BA degree, I got a master's degree, and then I said, why not get a doctorate? And then I applied to USC. But it wasn't a wish. It was a goal. And I set my goal-setting strategy to it. I had clarity. I had a desire for continuous learning. So everything aligned. And that's why I mentioned Joe Dispenza, because he talks about alignment. When your goals, your clarity, your emotional intelligence, your continuous learning, when you have a target, everything starts to align. And that's when you start experiencing what's called synchronicities. Things just occur. Some people call them luck. I don't believe in luck. I believe in synchronicities and alignment. So getting back to emotional intelligence, very important to be empathetic, feeling with other people, wanting to help other people. Right now, everybody's looking out for themselves. It's all about, what do I get? How can I get it? When you give back, you get more. And that's life. And that has been my experience. When you give, you get more back. I have received much, much more than I ever dreamed of having. Okay? So empathy is important. And then self-regulation. How do you speak to yourself? How do you regulate yourself? Okay? If you're constantly downplaying yourself, saying, oh, I can't do it. Who am I kidding? This will never work. And then when you start believing other people, you're a dreamer, it'll never happen, you don't have enough money, whatever. You start playing that in your head. It's a recording. And you actually limit yourself. Okay? Self-regulation is you saying, I can do it. I don't know how to do it yet. Like this whole podcast and this whole YouTube thing. I don't know how to do it yet. I don't know how to read the analytics. I don't know how to make catching titles or thumbnails. But I'll learn. I don't know how to do it yet. I don't tell myself, forget it, don't do it. Since you don't know how to do it, it's going to come out silly. It may at first, but I promise you, it's going to get better and better and better. And next year, this thing will be in place, intact, and we should have, I'm looking at going for 5 million subscribers worldwide. And I'm not even playing, well, no, that's probably not going to happen. You're really reaching out too far. You're being too ambitious. No, that's my self-regulation. Well, if I don't get 5 million, but I end up with 2 million, is that so bad? No. There was a gentleman named Vincent Peale, and he wrote a book. You want to read that. All his stuff is good. And he said, when you set your goals, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll hit a star. How bad can that be? Translating that is, a gentleman wants to be a doctor. Well, he went to school, checked it out, took all the courses, and then decided, no, you know what I want to be instead? A biochemist. Is that so bad? No. A young lady wanted to be a nursing assistant. Well, she shot for the moon. She wanted to be a nurse. That young lady ended up becoming a doctor. Okay, that's self-regulation. And everything else, clarity, goal setting, continuous learning, and then emotional intelligence. Okay, social skills. Learning how to interact with people, that's part of emotional intelligence. Speaking, instead of being introverted and shy, you need to learn how to start introducing yourself to people. Build your confidence. Probably one of the best ways that you can do that is, say you're at a party. Instead of scrolling on your phone, walk up to someone and say, hey, how you doing? This is a pretty good course. Why are you here? Now you're back to your why. Everyone should have a why. Now you introduce yourselves. Now you made a new friend. if you do end up taking a course that you have to attend, same thing. Show up. Don't get nervous and say, I don't know anybody. You're not going to know anybody. Make it a point to introduce yourself to 2 people when you get there. As soon as you walk in, get your name tag, walk up to somebody and say, hey, how you doing? I'm Frank. What are you hoping to get out of this class? Oh, I want to learn because I want to be a real estate agent, so I wanted to do this. How about you? Well, I want to be a real estate agent too. I want to get my license. Oh, cool. And there's another person who comes up, hey, how you doing? Now you have a friend. Introduce this new friend you met to Frank. And you're off and running. Now you're going to feel more confident, more comfortable, less anxiety. So this is all emotion. That's why we're calling it emotional intelligence. You got to be smart, understand how it works. And then the other thing is motivation. That's probably another forte of mine. I was a professional speaker and I spoke on self-image, goal setting, and motivation, self-motivation. And I charged a pretty penny for that too. I worked with Xerox. I worked with the California Gas Company and some others. And we talked about motivation. One speech, one fee, one topic. Okay? Motivation, self-motivation. What's motivating you? Okay, it's a little different than clarity. It's when you set your goals, you have your target, now you're motivated to get after it. Quit being a quitter. When I used to coach football, that was one of the lines I used with my football players. Quit being a quitter. Run faster. Well, he's too fast for me, coach. Then run faster. Learn the skills. Develop your muscular skills to run. Increase your speed. You'll catch them. And I've seen that happen in a football game where the kid chased him down, all the way down, caught him. He was more happy that he caught him than he was from preventing the touchdown. Okay? So what's motivating you? Bringing it closer to home, what's motivating me is this is going to be a big project. Okay? OLP 365. It's going to have videos. It's going to have online courses. It's going to have a website. It's going to have a community. It's going to have webinars. It's going to have conferences. Okay, this is big. That's motivating me to do this. So that's my motivation. What is your motivation? Do you want to start your own business? Do you want to help somebody? Do you want a promotion at your job? What's motivating you to get after it? So as you can see, it's a lot of moving pieces, and they're just floating out there. What you have to do is learn how to structure them, organize them, frame them, and then start working in them. And that's your life. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Again, as we go through the year, I'm going to share more information about me. I've done so much. I've accomplished so much. I've earned so much because I use all of these principles and all these strategies, and that's how I created OLP 365. I didn't just hear it, I did it. This worked for me, so I know it's going to work for you. So, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, empathy, self-regulation, social skills, and motivation. You're going to strengthen your relationships, you're going to improve communication, and it's going to help you navigate challenges. Because you're going to, I promise you, you're going to have challenges in this life. I promise you that. But you're going to be able to address them calm, cool, and collected. That's called composure. When you hear people say, keep your composure, that's what they're talking about. And we're going to put out some information on exactly how to work your emotional intelligence and how to develop it. But that's down the road. Okay? So far, in this section of our personal development, we're talking about clarity, goal setting, continuous learning or lifelong learning, and emotional intelligence. Okay? And then the next one, and we're going to end the video here, is resilience. Resilience means how you bounce back. Bouncing back stronger. Everybody has problems. I've had more than my share of problems, and I know more are going to come. Okay? But it's how you learn to deal with those problems that makes you successful. That's resilience. I went through a custody battle when they took my children from me. And I didn't lose it. I didn't go crazy like a lot of other men do. I was composed, calm, cool, and collected. And I set goals. I had my clarity. And I started to work it. It took me 16 months to get them back. But I did get them back. The court awarded me full custody. And I was composed all along the way. And I ran into the court system. Those of you who have worked or been in the court system know how long they take, how disorganized they are, how you get a sense that they just don't care. And I've seen a lot of fathers lose it over that, and that affected them negatively. I was calm, cool, and collected, dealt with all the problems as they came to me, but because I had these skills, I was able to navigate. That's where my emotional intelligence really, really helped me. Okay? Because when you're dealing with lawyers, they change things and it affects you. So when you're ready to do something, all of a sudden they postpone it for 3 months. That means you don't get your kids for 3 more months. And men that I knew were getting angry at that, lashing out, where I would go, okay, then this will allow me to do this, this, and this in preparation for that. And I went through it all. And I was resilient. And I got my boys. So part of resilience is looking at failures or problems and learning how to make them successes. Okay? Those are what I call victories. When you hear me say victories, challenges, that's a victory. When you learn how to do these things and you get ambushed, but you work through it and come out successful, that's a victory. And the only way you do that is by practicing resilience, self-care, reframing the negative into a positive, setting goals, be clear. It definitely helps you overcome setbacks, because you're going to have setbacks, I promise. And that's where a lot of men give up. They get a setback and they throw it all to hell and they give up. Resilient, be resilient. I got a setback. What do I need to do to fix it? I make a lot of football analogies because I was a successful championship football coach for years. I put guys in Big Ten colleges. I even had a few kids who played pro ball for me. Okay? So I was a very successful football coach, so I'm going to make a lot of references to football. In football, you're going to lose a football game. It happens. Some years you'll be 10-0. Some years you'll be 8-2. There's other teams that practice just as hard and want to win just as much. And you end up losing. Okay? If you're resilient, you go back the next week and you find out what went wrong, and then you work to improve it, and then you come back the next week and you win. You become victorious. That's resilience. And I like football because it's a metaphor for life. You're crashing, you're bumping, you're being pushed back, you're being intercepted. Resilience says, okay, you did that on that play. You're not doing it on the next play. The next play, I know exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get there, and I'm going to make sure I make the touchdown. That's resilience, bouncing back. Okay? Self-care, very important for resilience. You got to eat right, you got to work out, you got to do all these things. When we get on the health path, we're going to talk a lot about that in depth. But part of resilience is it's easy to bounce back when you're healthy, fit, mentally and physically and emotionally. Okay, let me repeat that. Resilience is easy when you're mentally fit, physically fit, and emotionally fit. Okay? That's the winning triangle. We're going to talk about that a little further down the road. You're going to see how it all works. And what I like about resiliency is that you sit back, you get up, dust yourself off, and you keep moving forward. So there's times you're going to take 5 steps forward, you're going to get knocked back 2. So you only had 3 positive steps. Well, then you take 1 step forward, you get knocked back 2. Now you only had 1 positive step. But as you're resilient, then you take 10 steps, get back knocked down 2. Now you're ahead 8 steps. And that's the way life works. Just constantly being resilient. I already know that life is full of setbacks and problems. To me, I call those challenges. Bring the challenges. I always rise to the challenge. I always rise to the challenge. A lot of people don't. They fall. They lose the challenge, and it continues. I believe that you learn to be a loser. You learned. You weren't born to be a loser. You learn to be a loser by not doing these things. And you keep losing. Keep losing. Pretty soon, you just start to have that self-regulation. I'm a loser. It's not going to work. Nothing works out for me. I don't associate with people like that. Okay? Now, if you do have negative self-talk, I like to help you through it so you become positive self-talk, because it changes just like that. A thought is nothing more, I like to call it than a coin, a flip of a coin. Heads is positive, tails is negative. Oh, flip it again. Flip it again. 3 out of 5. Tails. Flip it again. Heads. There you go. You're off and running now. Just be resilient. Okay? It teaches you that challenges are stepping stones. Higher and higher. So those are the 5 main points of today's video. Talking about personal development. Well, personal development also includes setting good habits, learning to use a planner, using a calendar, and other things. Okay? There's a lot of things. Setting priorities, knowing how to set priorities, making decisions, knowing how to make decisions. But this is the foundation. I believe these are the essential foundational skills for personal development. If you get these down, you get good at them, then we'll start to talk about the others, and it's going to be so easy for you to do, because you're going to go, I know how to do that. That's a goal. Let me set it for a goal. Oh, that's health. Let me do that. Oh, that's emotional intelligence. No. All right, I missed it this time. I'll get it next time. Now you're being resilient. So as you can see, all these things work. Okay? Concurrently. I'm trying to think of what else I think you need to know. I think that covers it. Yeah. To get you started. When I used to coach football, I didn't come out and tell the kids to start blocking. I worked on their mindset, gave them a winning mindset. talked about self-regulation. We talked about clarity, goal setting, resilience, all these. That's how those boys became champions. They became winners. And when you learn how to win in one arena, you can win in the other arena. You're a winner. You're a champion. And of course, the bigger the prize, the harder or greater the challenge. But you know that going up to it. But by then, now remember, I've done this for years, so I can take on any challenge. Like when I told someone what I was doing with the OLP 365, I saw that as a challenge. And people said, no way, you don't even know anything about websites. You don't know anything about this. You don't know anything about that. What makes you think you can do that? I said, I don't know it yet. But I know about continuous learning. I know where I can get the information and learn how to do it. Okay? And I know there's going to be setbacks. This is a setback. Starting off not understanding how all this works and how the digital stuff works, connecting it. They told me to get on Instagram. I don't even know how to work that. But I don't know how to do it yet. But I will. So this whole thing, this is from years of being resilient. It's taught me to take on bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger challenges. And I'm telling you, this OLP 365 is going to be truly a labor of love. I'm looking forward to all these moving parts. I'm looking forward to putting this thing together. I'm looking forward to having 5 million subscribers in different parts of the world. I'm looking forward to setting conferences in Chicago, Hawaii, Idaho. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm not shying away from it. Bring it on. It's a challenge. I'm up for it. But remember, I started this years ago, so my skills in all of these things are a lot stronger than anyone who's trying to learn this stuff. Okay? But you'll get there too. So, I think, to recap, personal development is learning to become the best version of yourself. The best. Whatever you are. If you're a taxi driver, then be the best version of yourself who's a taxi driver. Be the best taxi driver. If you're a teacher, then be the best version of yourself and become the best teacher. And it goes for everything else. You can be a truck driver. Become the best version of yourself personally and become the best truck driver. That's what personal development will do for you as we walk on this path. So this is actually one of the paths. It's called personal development. Okay? Down the road, maybe in a couple of months, I'm going to write a book just on personal development. But it'll be a practical workbook that shows you what to do, how to do it, how it works, so that you get a skill from it. Let's see. Yeah, let's recap. So, right now we're starting with, there's other components, but right now we're starting with the basic 5. I like to call it base 5. As a matter of fact, when we get to the health component, starting out exercising, I have what's called base 5. It's a base 5 activity. Good one though. You do 3 rounds of it, base 5. So that's actually 15 reps. You'll see when we get there. You're actually going to watch me doing it, sweating and working out and trying it. As I told you before, I am on this path with you. I am not telling you what to do. I'm doing it. So we can do it together. So to recap, the 5, clarity, that's your why. Your goal setting, that's breaking everything down into manageable steps. Continuous learning, lifelong learning, that's where you seek your knowledge through books, audio, mentors, life experiences, advisors, guides, whatever you want to call them. I'm calling myself a guide in this program. I'm guiding you through the paths. And then we talked about emotional intelligence, okay? And the components of emotional intelligence was self-awareness, empathy, self-regulation, social skills, and motivation. And anytime you have questions on this, drop a comment. Okay, I'll try to get back to you. And then resilience, bouncing back, stronger, taking roadblocks and busting through them. Obstacles, you go over them, around them, or under them. Don't stop you. Challenges, because you're resilient, take them on. So again, memorize these 5. Clarity, goal setting, continuous learning, emotional intelligence, resilience. You do that, man, and you're on your way. Now remember to get your notebook, your planner, because you're going to need that for this, and your journal. When I'm done with this video, I'll be journaling. This is my journal. If you want to make the personal growth, you need a journal. Those are your tools. You can't just listen and say, oh yeah, that's good. Oh boy. Not going to help you. Again, you'll hear me say, if you're serious about transforming your life to a better life, then you'll get a journal, a notebook, and a planner or a calendar, whatever you. I prefer a planner because it can go in my briefcase. Okay? If you just want to listen to the information, you're more than welcome to. Come along. But I'm just saying, if you want to see true change in your life for the better, you have to get those tools and you have to take the action steps. Set your goals. Each step's an action step. And you're going to see. I am not kidding you. I'm looking forward to next year when someone says, I have been with you the entire year, and I got to tell you, my life is 10 times better than it was last year. That's what I'm after. That's my empathy. That's what I'm hoping for you. We're going to build this thing, and I like to build it with your help. So now we're in this together. OLP 365, Optimum Life Path. OLP, Optimum Life Path 365. 365 is a year. There are 12 paths, 12 months in a year. So it all aligns. And that just happened. I didn't make that up. Okay? So, as you embrace these principles, remember that personal development's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. You're on it. And it's about taking small, consistent steps every day. Every day. Not, I'll do it next week or I'll get to it when I get a chance. No, it has to be consistent. That's what the planner's for. You plan your steps every day. You're doing something. It's going to help you become the best version of yourself when you do that. But I want to thank you for allowing me to share this with you. And I sincerely mean it when I say, I hope that you help to create this movement, a movement. Share it with your friends. Don't make them do it, just share it with them. Let's create a movement. If you have family in other parts of the world, tell them to check in. Let me know what the language is, and I'll convert the videos to that language in that country. Okay? Let's create a movement. There's so much chaos and craziness in the world. We don't have to be part of it. All right? Let them do that. Let's go this way. The classic Led Zeppelin song, Stairway to Heaven. Let's build a stairway to heaven. Okay? Those of you who don't know Led Zeppelin, Google them and look for that song. It's actually it's called, they refer to it as hard rock national anthem. It's a very good song. So, I look forward to walking with you on this path and the other paths. And I look forward to seeing and hearing a lot of the transformation that's taking place. This is basically designed, I'm sharing this for men because I was a football coach and I coached men, I coached boys. But women are more than welcome to come along. But I'm not very sensitive to how to talk to them. I just know how to talk to men. One of my whys when I coached football was because I wanted to train young boys to become men. And I wanted to train those men to become leaders. You're on your path to becoming leaders, whether you like it or not. When you become a leader, people are going to follow you. And then you have to come to a decision and ask yourself, where am I going to lead them? Yeah, there's some responsibility that comes with it. But you're going to be well prepared. You won't have any trouble. You'll know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. You'll know how to do it. And you'll know all the benchmarks to see that you're doing it right. Okay? Again, this is Lou DeLorca. Call me Lou. I'm going to sign off now. Okay? Because I think there's a football game on tonight. And we'll be in touch with the next video. Okay? Any questions? Drop a comment. Share this. And I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. I'm not saying, and subscribe. I'm not going to say that to you. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, I'm not going to say, will you subscribe? No. You do what you think you need to do. If you don't want to subscribe, then don't. Okay? I don't know what the analytics and algorithm of all this YouTube stuff is yet. Okay? But I know they talk about subscribers, likes, and shares. Do all that if you know how. I don't know how to do all that or what it means yet. But be part of this movement. If you're part of this, right? You're part of this community, then contribute to it. Okay? Again, this is Lou signing off, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.